I thought I could show you what we have seen and that you could then handle.
This is Brian with ScreenFiles.com and Trailer to Reaction. Growing up, I was really fixated on Egypt and really wanted to visit, which I did, and to be totally honest, I found it somewhat underwhelming. That being said, I've always had an interest in Egypt, in its development, its growth, its empire, at least for a time. And I've also enjoyed movies that revolve around Egyptian culture, as surface an understanding of it as movies tend to have in the United States. And I really want to see a mummy horror movie. I think ever since the 1932 movie The Mummy, starring Boris Karloff, which I haven't seen by the way, though I've heard it's an actual horror film, The Mummy has been in mainly action-adventure heavy movies, from the Stephen Sommers films, even arguably to The Mummy with Tom Cruise, which I think actually kind of veered towards horror a little bit more than most of them typically. A genuine balls-to-walls horror film revolving around a mummy would be appreciated, at least by me, if only because it's an interesting character if treated right. It's more than just a person wrapped in linen. It's about culture, it's about belief systems, it's about all sorts of things that you could build upon, as opposed to, once again, just a dead dude in linen. Which brings me to a movie called The Ceremony is About to Begin, and according to IMDb, it's described thusly: madness, mayhem, and mummification rites ensue when a documentary filmmaker visits the rural commune of an ancient Egyptian-inspired cult to interview its enigmatic leader. This sounds like it could be an interesting horror film, and it's also in the found footage format, which kind of makes me a little bit uneasy, if only in the sense found footage typically means you're doing it on a cheap. Not always, but typically it does. And so, if they're going to treat this subject matter in a very cursory fashion, that's kind of going to put me off a little bit, to be totally honest. It's also worth mentioning that in 2014, there was The Pyramid, which is directed by Gregory Lavoisier, I think his name is pronounced. And he was the writing partner for the director who did High Tension. His name's eluding me. But in any case, it came and went with barely a ripple. So this is a subject area ripe for revisiting and reinterpretation. And I'm hoping The Ceremony is About to Begin at least begins to touch on that. In any case, let's look at the official trailer for The Ceremony is About to Begin, which I believe is going to be on Amazon.
I came across a flyer talking about a warm, welcoming environment. It sounded so nice.
When I met Osiris, he gave me an overwhelming feeling of safety, and he made me feel like I belonged somewhere.
It was a lot different than what I was used to. I mean, it looked like summer camp, kind of, but with this Egyptian theme going on.
So people keep asking me why I'm making this documentary, what my interest is in some hippie commune. I think the ethical thing to do is to be fully transparent. This is just crazy. I've heard so much about you, and yet to meet you in person is like pretty wild right now.
Many years ago, there was a culture building pyramids in accordance with star systems that they couldn't see. I mean, think about that. I thought I could show you what we have seen and that you could then handle the information I want to give you. Apparently, you can't handle that.
Oh my God. What did you do? What did you do?
But if you can tell the story in the right way, nobody will be able to deny what we've done.
Well, that was the official trailer for The Ceremony is About to Begin, and it looks kind of good. As I said before, found footage movies oftentimes is a way for filmmakers to make movies with a very limited budget, and I get it. It makes sense, and I don't disparage anyone from doing it. But at the same time, when that limited budget isn't employed in creative ways, it shows through as being limited. And at least for me, it affects my enjoyment of the movie. This might even be the same, I don't know. But at least the premise is interesting. So what do you think? This is Brian with ScreenFiles.com and Trailer to Reaction. Do you agree, disagree? Let me know down below. And as usual, consider a like, follow, or buy me a coffee. Peace.